So chances are, if you've ever perused on AliExpress and come across USB sticks, you probably have seen these 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 terabyte USB sticks. And I don't know about you, but I've never seen a USB stick larger than maybe 500 gigs from a reputable brand. So what's the likelihood of these actually being legit? So I used some of my hard-earned money. I bought one. I got it shipped over. I'm going to show you how you can test it. This kind of thing works for SD cards as well, because those are often faked, especially when you buy off of stores like AliExpress. Even sometimes Amazon, you might be able to get a fake SD card from there. And we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you things to avoid, and we're just going to go on an adventure together. So first things first, I highly advise against plugging an unknown USB into any of your computers, at least the computer that you actually care about, whether it's going to be because of malware or a bad acting device that is meant to either fry a USB port or the entire computer. Not saying that that's highly possible, but it is possible. So what I would suggest you do is either test it on a single board computer like a Raspberry Pi, which is what I did with this USB originally while checking it out, or some kind of old laptop or old computer that does not have access to the network. I would highly suggest doing that. That way you can go ahead and test an untrusted device first before plugging it into anything that you actually care about. Now, if we go ahead and look here within my VM, I'm going to be doing all this within a VM just for safety purposes and what have you. You can see that our drive is listed at 1.89 terabytes free. If we go ahead and open that properties, there's 3 megabytes reserved. I believe that's just the default allocation for exFAT out of 1.89 terabytes. Because if we go ahead and go to the partition wizard that's built into Windows, we can see here that there's no other partitions. Now, what I highly suggest you do here is we're going to format the drive. This is just always suggested when getting a new USB stick anyways, just to ensure that there's nothing on there. We're going to call this Ali for our AliExpress. Default allocation size, exFAT, perform quick format. There we go. And it's going to go ahead and format that whole drive, and now we can go ahead and start. Now, I'm going to leave the link down to this website in the description, but we're going to go ahead and download H2TestW. Now, this is a program developed by a German security magazine, and what it does is it will go ahead and write and read data to the USB to confirm that it's actually the size that it says it is. There are tons of USBs out there and SD cards that are able to basically lie about their size to the device that's reading them, and this helps confirm whether or not that is true. Now, the website is in German, so if you're on a browser that supports translating to English, you can just right-click, do translate to English, and it should translate the whole page for you. The reason I'm giving you this link instead of the many other links where you can download this is directly from the source, directly from the people who develop it. There are tons of other companies and websites out there that host this program, but downloading it directly from them is always going to be the safest way to do so. There are other reputable brands that will host this file. TP-Link, for example, hosts it, and a couple of the other large manufacturers, but downloading directly from them is my recommended way to go. So we're going to go ahead and go to download here, and once we get that, we're going to go to download. It should download the file. We're going to open it, and we're going to run the application. Now we're just going to extract all. I already had it downloaded, so it's just going to ask me to replace, and we're going to go ahead and run it. Now you can change the program to be in English, which is great, and we're going to go to select target, and we're going to go and find our Ali. We're going to press OK. We're going to do write and verify. Now it's going to say that it's not doing the full capacity, and that's because of that 3 megabytes that are missing, which, I mean, I think this should be fine in this case. So we're going to press OK. And now it's going to go ahead and do the entire drive. Now, depending on the size, it can take a couple of hours. In my case, it says it's going to take about 80 hours. So we'll be back here in 80 hours to check out how this thing is going. It's going to be significantly less than that, but we will be back here once it's finished. All right, so it has been over 200, almost 300 hours now. And as you can see, H2 Test has detected a bunch of errors and a bunch of issues. Over 1.5 terabytes of the data has been lost. And as you can see here, only 66.5 gigabytes of space was verified as legitimate space. And the program identified the USB as being defective. So the conclusion, which was very apparent from the beginning for most people, was that it is not truly a 2 terabyte USB, and that they are, using firmware and stuff to spoof the size and get people to buy these USBs without really knowing any better. Now, funny thing is, while this whole process was going, which has taken, as you can see, quite a long time, somebody actually reached out on one of my videos and said, hey, I have this 1 terabyte USB stick and I've been getting issues. And turns out they were using a fake 1 terabyte USB, and it caused them a bunch of issues when trying to use one of the tools that I was talking about. And this is a really common thing, especially on websites like AliExpress, Alibaba, and so forth. So if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably the case. Again, any USBs over 512 gigabytes are likely fake. And if you are going to find something that is above that threshold, 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes, they are usually going to be considered an external drive of some sort. SSD, hard drive. The SSD ones are becoming a lot more affordable, like the SanDisk and whatnot. I've also done a video on how to convert an NVMe drive into an external USB drive that is incredibly handy. I use it for all my editing. If you want to go ahead and check that video out, I'll leave it up here somewhere. And yeah, I mean, end of the day, it was a fake 2 terabyte USB. I bought it with the notion that I knew it was going to be a fake one, but I did want to make a video about this. I have had some people mention extremely large USB sticks before, and I just really wanted to make a video, show the process, show how you could check it out and see if it was fake or not yourself. And yeah, I mean, at this point, we can abort it. We know it's a fake. And this process ended up taking so long that I ended up having to cancel the process on my gaming computer because I needed to do a lot of editing and other videos. And I've actually been doing it on my laptop for the last, 200 plus hours. So in conclusion, unfortunately, we are not in a period of time yet where we can fit 2 terabytes on a tiny, like this is even smaller than a standard USB. We cannot fit 2 terabytes on these yet. So again, it sounds too good to be true. It probably is. I really do hope that you found this video helpful. And if not, I hope you at least found it interesting. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you like, subscribed. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please go ahead and leave those down in the comment section below. Big thanks to my patron sponsors, Thought Time and Step Back. I wouldn't be able to buy random little things with the idea that it's going to be a waste of money from the get-go without support. So I really do appreciate the two of them. And I really do appreciate you for watching to the end of this video. If you do want to see any of my other videos about computer hardware and tech, you can go ahead and check out this playlist right up here. And as always, stay safe out there. I'll see you next Saturday.